I believe the greatest awakening is coming to your lives, to this generation, but it is preceded by generations of mothers and fathers who have been crying out for the manifestation of a generation that would bomb the earth. So never think that it's all because of you. I tell you what, we stand on the shoulders of forefathers and foremothers who have paid a price, and I believe we've come to the time for the accumulated prayers of the saints are arising in one generation. And God is going to answer all those accumulated prayers and remember all those covenants, and it's going to come down on you guys.
Fire came down from heaven and consumed the burnt offering and the sacrifices, and the glory of the Lord filled the house. And the priest could not enter into the house of the Lord because of the glory that filled the Lord's house. Verse 3, and when all the children of Israel saw how the fire came down, and the glory of the Lord was upon the house, they bowed themselves with their faces to the ground upon the pavement and worshipped and praised. The glory overwhelmed them. They couldn't stand in His presence. The majesty of God swept in on them. Oh, I sincerely covet that this will happen in our day. I'm cheated. I've never been in a meeting where the glory came and made us all dumb. And nobody wanted to go home, wanted to stay half the night or half the day. But everybody's interest in sport or any other thing, business, or anything else you have withered. And preeminently we were occupied to see God's glory, God's majesty, until we worship in speechless adoration. I tell you, I cried today. I got God, here I am, not too far off pushing 80. Give me another 10 years if need be, but don't let me go to heaven without seeing the thing I've preached and talked about for the last 50, 60 years.
There's a price to pay for revival. And I'm not saying that we paid the price. In fact, I'm not sure that we did pay the price. I'm not sure that we were the ones that paid the price. I believe it was Leonard Ravenhill that paid the price for this revival. And Leonard Ravenhill died just months before this revival. I believe there's a scripture that says, unless a seed falls into the ground, won't bear much fruit. So I'm not saying that we paid the price, because I honestly don't believe we paid the price. I think people like Leonard Ravenhill paid the price. We just was blessed to be able to reap the benefits. I was able to enjoy something that somebody else won for me. And I'll be by George if I should be not willing to pay the price, even if I never see it again. And I'll be honest with you, it's the greatest fear of my life that I'll never see it again. It's the greatest fear of my life. Because it scares me spitless, friend, to think I'm only 41 years old. And should Jesus tarry, it scares me to think that I could go 23 years, 24 years, 34 years, drudging in ministry, and never get to experience it again. That scares me, friend. And I know that's going to happen to me unless I'm willing to pay the price.
I paid a price to open up my church. I laid my keys to the church on the altar, tears running down my face. I've never been a crier, but I was sobbing. And I laid my keys to the church. My authority, I laid it on the altar. I said, but I tell you, I'm willing to resign this church and take a church in the country, if I have to, that only runs 50 people, 30 people, and give up this ministry in order to have a move of God. I'm hungry, and I want revival, no matter what the cost. And I said, I lay my keys, Holy Ghost, on this altar. And I'm telling you, by laying my keys on this altar, that I want a move of God. If the church doesn't want revival, I do, and I'm going after God. If it means 5 people in a top tent down by the river, I'm going after God. Friends, we got to make up our mind, whatever it takes. We've got to show the Holy Ghost. He wants to see whether or not we mean business or a move of God. Bible says when Jesus saw their faith, he wanted to see Abraham pull that dagger up and begin to quiver as he was about to bring it down on his boy. He wanted to see that dagger come up. Jesus knew when he was up speaking in that house, he knew they was going to go up and climb up on that roof. He wanted to see that roof fall down and the straw and the hay fall down. He wanted to see it fall. He wanted to hear that saw blade in that roof. He wanted to see their faith. And I tell you, there comes a time God wants to see us put our keys on the altar and say, God, I am not playing games with you. This is not theatrics. I mean business. I want to move of God in my life, no matter what it takes, Lord.
See, there's a lots of people that still believe that there's a shortcut. There is not one. There is no shortcut to the glory of heaven. It must be given at full price. You have to pay it. Well, I thought Jesus already did. He bought you at full price because he paid the price. Now, for you to go to the nation you're called to, you got to pay. People look at me continually. I want to know what the price is. I look at him and say, ask Jesus. I ain't telling you. Because you won't listen. You don't want to hear about prayer and fasting and continual obedience and irregardless of the problems and circumstances, seeking heaven and going day in, day out, 24 hours a day, being in, go and doing, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. That's not what you want to hear. You have to pay it.
Everyone that gets something from God has to fight. It ain't a free ride, friend. You got to go after God. These people that want revival don't want to pay a price. You're getting some type of counterfeit revival. You ain't getting the real thing. If you ain't paid a price, it ain't the real thing. If you haven't gone after God, friend, you might have a little bless me picnic for a few days, but it ain't going to be revival. This revival right here is carried, has been birthed in prayer. I'm talking about laboring in prayer. For 2.5 years before this revival broke out, this church was wailing at these altars, going after God like nobody's business. I visited this church during that time. I remember it. I wrote in my journal that God's going to pour out His Spirit at Brownsville 2 years before it ever happened. Why? I saw it. I saw people weeping and wailing at these altars.
You've got to understand, you have to pay. I can help you get started. You have to then pick it up and pay full price. I do know it's available. I do know that He's listening. And I do know that if you'll do it, irregardless of people and surroundings and places and circumstances, in a minute He'll show up. And you will not be ready for it.
Find me in the river. Find me on my knees. I've walked against the water. Now I'm waiting, if you please. We've longed to see the roses, but never felt the thorns. And we bought our pretty crowns, but we never paid the price. find me on my knees. I love you, Jesus. Lord, I've walked against the water.